most of this loss is on Jimmy G. Now, let me explain why. I'm not trying to say, listen, I could point out that they had to stop running the football because they weren't running the football effectively. And when it mattered most, Kyle Shanahan gave that brother the ball, and he went 1 for 6 for like -8 yards. I could bring up the fact that that followed up a week where you were extremely pedestrian and your special teams had to come to the rescue at Lambeau Field because you damn sure didn't do much, couldn't generate a touchdown. I could bring all of that up. But I'm going to take a macro perspective and leave the dissection of this to a Michael Irvin and obviously to my brother Dan Orlovsky by saying this. Matthew Stafford, of course, he deserved props, and I'll leave that to Mr. Pom-Pom himself, Mr. Orlovsky, to say that about him because we all know it's true. It's absolutely true. Here's what I would say, and neither one of y'all would disagree with this. There comes a moment where you just know that ain't the dude. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like you look at Deebo Samuels, you look at George Kittle, you look at Nick Bosa and the crew, and you know, it's like
that's real.
It's like you just look and you go like this. That dude is why they ain't going to the Super Bowl. Because if they had Matthew Stafford, if they had Patrick Mahomes, if they had Joe Burrow, if they had Josh Allen with that defense and the way that it was playing, and with Deebo being that monster that he is, and Kittle being who he is, with Kyle Shanahan calling those plays, they would have found a way. But you knew that Jimmy G wasn't going to get it done. And so I close by saying this. First of all, that idiot that tried to call Jeff Garcia, that tried to call out Mina Kimes, we don't hear anything from you today, do we, Jeff Garcia? Nothing at all. Nothing at all. All right? You should be apologizing on national television to Mina Kimes with your trifling self. That's number one. So he is trifling for trying to go after Mina Kimes like that. He is trifling. That's number one. Number two, if you Kyle Shanahan, look, stop lying to the American public. Stop lying to 49ers fans. Trey Lance should be ready with you being the exceptional coach that you are. Let Jimmy G go. It ain't worth it. Just let him go. That's number two. And number three, congratulations. I feel very bad. It's not an accident that Odell Beckham Jr. walked over to Deebo Samuels the way that he did.
Yeah, that was very classy.
That was great.
But it wasn't just very classy. It was more than that. It was classy, but it was more than that, guys. You know what he was saying? I felt your pain.
Yeah.
I have felt your pain.
It was
because you had a quarterback. You had a quarterback that couldn't get it done.
No.
I'll be damned if I didn't know how that feels. If I don't know how that feels, Deebo, my heart goes out to you, my brother.
In that moment, to have the wherewithal, to have the awareness to care about your boy, you know, I was impressive.
That's right. It was. But he knew.
Stephen A. saying something though.
He's saying something.
Not to the depth. Not to the depth of that. Because like you said, hey, Kyle Shanahan is one of the best out there.
That's right.
And he keeps you in the game. So he asked Jimmy G, just don't lose the game for me. Just don't lose the game. Jimmy G's only averaged 160 passing yards in his career, in his playoff career. So he's not saying go and win the game. Go and win the game. So that's exactly what the Rams made him do.
That's right.
Rams said we're going to put this on Jimmy G, and Jimmy G couldn't get it done. I put it all on Jimmy G because your job is not to make the bad decision. We're not asking you to make the great plays, but not to make the bad decision. And he made some bad decisions, especially that little flick pass that went for the interception right there. You can't. I don't care. That's some young guy decision right there. You eat that ball. If you can't get the ball off right, you punt, and you let that defense that plays great to get back on the football field. You don't make that kind of a decision. For what Jimmy G gives this team, not just in that game, but for his whole career, what Jimmy G's gives, he is not, this is all on him, and it is time for them to go ahead and make a decision and move to Trey Lance now. If they're trying to get back to this Super Bowl, and with Kyle Shanahan and that team, they can if they shore up that quarterback position.
Dan, where are you on this?
So y'all thought I was going to come on and talk about Jimmy Garoppolo today? After what we watched yesterday? You thought I was going to come – Stephen A., you thought I was going to come on and talk – is this you trying to get Sam Tanucci to not have me talk about Matthew Stafford?
Not at all.
Is this you trying to change the topic?
Matthew Stafford to you.
Hey,
we left Matthew Stafford to you.
Can you guys share something on the screen for me? Okay. So you did this to yourself, Stephen A. This isn't early in this football game. You're calling out me. You're calling out Matthew Stafford. You're referencing your guy. And I told you yesterday. I told you this today. First of all, if you're going to tweet like this early in the game, you should change the show to first quarter takes, not first take. Because you get thumb happy when something bad happens, and then you get yourself into an issue. And I responded to you last night. You did this to yourself.
Not at all.
You did this to yourself when you got so trigger happy with your thumbs that you wanted to try to fire off shots and couldn't wait to never shoot early, Stephen A. Never shoot too early. And you're trying to fire off tweets, and now you got to deal with me the day after. I'm not talking about Jimmy Garoppolo right now. I'm going to talk about Matthew Stafford.
Cincinnati now has a date with the Rams, and so the Rams are moving on. 49ers go home after yesterday, and so here we are now already talking about what this means for Jimmy Garoppolo and his future. So after the Niners lost yesterday, what do you think this means for Jimmy G in San Fran?
You know, Shay, sometimes I think we overcomplicate things, but if you think about the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo in the last couple of years has gotten the team to the Super Bowl, gotten the team to the championship game, I would be really slow if I was San Francisco to move on from him, because while Trey Lance has truly a high ceiling, Jimmy Garoppolo is under contract for another year. Why not bring them both back? We saw this year Kyler Murray get hurt, Daniel Jones, countless quarterbacks get hurt. Having depth at that position to me is a real positive over a 17-game season. So if I was them, I would bring him back. I think there was a couple plays he should have, obviously, on that last drive. I don't think he functioned very well. I don't think that offense did. I think over the last 3 drives, they had like a total of 28 points. Part of it was protection. Part of it, I thought, with his ball placement. But if I'm San Francisco, I want to deal from a position of strength at that position and keep both those players.
Yeah, not only depth, but also consistency, right? Then you're not having turnover in terms of having to learn a new playbook and a new quarterback and chemistry.
But, I mean, Mike, Shay, everybody knows it's very hard to find a Joe Burrow, Mike. It's really hard to get one of those.
Everything's going to come back to the Bengals at some point, Mike, over the next, I don't know, 2 weeks or so.
Yeah, like Jordan, like 30 years hard? Is that what you mean?
Oh, okay. All right. We're living in the present here, Mike. Okay? We're living in the present, my friend.
You asked for it. All right. Mike T, as always, great talking to you, buddy. We'll catch up soon.
All right. Thanks, guys.